Hi, everyone. We're going live. If you can hear me, would you please give me a thumbs up or a 5 by 5 if you aren't familiar with how to use emojis? I just want to make sure we have audio and visual. There's been a time or two we've had to go to a plan B, but now that they know we can restart one quickly and keep going, it hasn't happened in a long time. Welcome to Margaret B., Larry Hanson, my moderator, Julie, who is today here as DJ Jules, which is her other name because she has a multifaceted life that includes doing a lot of DJ work. So thanks for being here, Julie. And let's see, who else? Lemon J, Sharon. Anyway, thank you all for being here. It's 2 o'clock, so we're going to start talking our way through this meditation. I say talking our way through it because our meditations are focused energy. So they may not proceed in ways, if you're a newer viewer, as you think meditations might go. Okay. We're going to also spend a lot of time protecting our energy because it's my understanding that in the past, when people had large group meditations or church services, that energy often was hijacked and used for purposes that the people really hadn't realized they were giving their energy to. So we really protect our energy, the energy we contribute, and of course, through it all, we respect the free will of others. So it'll make sense as we go, but yeah, I'm just going to talk us through this half hour. And our main focus today is on fearlessness. Now, you may view that as faith over fear, or just proceeding with courage when you feel fear. There's lots of ways to envision it, and it's a very individual thing, but we all know what fear is to us, and we all know times we've acted in spite of it. And we were glad we did, as hard as it might have been. So that's what we want to kind of have be more in our go-to kit. More what we do in life is face things with fear, reject attempts to make us feel fear. And so that would be a great focus for meditation for us. Okay, so let's fearlessly pursue this topic. First of all, some of our intentions. Anyone who is joining this meditation, either observing in neutrality or with positive participation, you are welcome. And we're glad you're here. And those of you who are here under those two umbrellas of just neutrally observing or participating positively, our intention is that we all be protected and the energy we contribute be protected from evil in any form before, during the meditation, and beyond. Okay, so we're going to picture our energy that we contribute and our energy around ourselves today is kind of in a beautiful bubble, encapsulated in some way. I love the colors that are seen subtly in iridescent things. So I picture kind of a iridescent capsule for our energy and ourselves, okay, for one another. Now, just real quickly, if there is someone here or if there is someone sending negative energy to what we're doing here at any point along the timeline and across all planes of existence. So if someone in the future is trying to send it back because we had a vulnerability there at one point, or in the past sending it forward, no matter what direction that negativity is hitting this meditation, we are going to be sending it to our loving creator of all creators, to be purified and repurposed. So it won't be available on any, we do not send it back to sender, then they can keep using it. We're going to send it to be purified and repurposed. And then in that way, we incrementally help this world go from dark to light, because we're removing energy permanently across all planes of this existence. It's negative. Okay, now I'm only saying that's been sent this way, and I want to be real clear what our intention is. So I'm going to count down from 3, and if you'll join me in this, if you so desire, we're going to picture negative energy being sent to into the light, into the creator of all creators, to source, to God, or whoever you think of as the top, most loving, positive creation being in the cosmos. Okay, we're going to send it and let it be repurposed and purified first and then repurposed in 3, 2, 1. I picture a dandelion, a little dingy colored. I blow the little wigglies off of it, and it goes into the light and sparkles and gets cleaned up as it goes. Don't want to give that too much energy because we want to save our energy for our intentions and for one another. Okay, so now any intention we state in this meditation, we want it to be never to be transmuted, hijacked, or used for other purposes ever. So we want to be very clear in stating our intention on that. So any energy that's positively contributed today across all planes of existence and forever into eternity, our energy is going to proceed as we direct it. And it may be over time that people don't have to worry about fear, and it's kind of a useless little energy bolt, but it's going to stay as we plan it. It's not going to be available for other use, for transmuting or changing and hijacking in any way. So I want you to feel free now that we've protected that energy, if you so desire to contribute to it as we send it out. Okay, now, our intention is also that everybody leaves this meditation not feeling in any way depleted, like you used up valuable energy, either your time or what you contributed to the meditation. In fact, we are learning and have the ability to be conduits of love and light and positivity. And if we don't empty our own bucket, but we learn to be that gutter spout, that conduit of light from a limitless source, then we don't have to worry about burning our candle out. We can even, if our intention is, and mine is for you, that any energy you contribute today of your free will and in love and in positivity, that is refilled back to you even faster than you're pouring it out. So you may leave here feeling really energized and ready to do a lot of things. I hope so. I absolutely hope so. Okay, so we know that our meditation is going to have a positive impact on our world. We do work within free will. So as we do any envisioning for others to have fearlessness or to remove fear from their lives, we have to understand that some people aren't ready to leave negative emotions behind, or to proceed fearlessly, or to believe fearlessly. And we have to respect that. But we're going to do what we can to those that, if they knew how powerful an intention was and a positive outlook, if they would welcome that little boost to their energy, to their toolbox or whatever, we want to, within the bounds of free will. You're participating in free will. We're offering what we offer in free will, and we're not going to force it onto anybody because we don't want to step on any energetic toes with what we do here. Okay. I mean, I would like to think that everybody would like to be the master of when and to what extent they feel fear. But some people, it's just a concept that they're not ready for, and we have to respect that. So we will. We operate within the bounds of free will, both in what we give and where we send it. We offer it, and because sometimes it might be accepted in surprising ways and places, okay? But we're not going to force it on anybody. Now let's make sure we're physically ready to donate our energy. So one of the first things we do is check our posture. You should be sitting up as upright as you can, to have your chakras in alignment. Now, some people participate with these meditations because it's not exciting to watch. I'm just talking for the whole 30 minutes. So they just simply have my voice going in the background. They stretch out on a yoga mat. That's fine. However you want to do it to get your chakras in alignment, okay? Now, sit up as straight as you can. We're going to straighten those backs, and we're going to understand that if that's not possible for you, since we are sending energy and receiving energy from the creator of all creators, it's not going to be a permanent roadblock. We want to assist in the process as much as we can. But if you have curvature of the spine or something, don't hesitate to still participate to the extent you can. If all of this can be created and made manifest, so can energy that will travel through some curves without any kind of problems. So we're picturing that for those of you that have an issue with that straight chakra alignment for a physical reason that's beyond your control. No problem. No problem. Now, one of the ways to check to see if you're energetically kind of setting aside as much stress as possible, because we do these meditations here in the United States, it's middle of the day. And anywhere from late morning to middle of the day in the United States. I know I have a few people, God bless them, that join us in the wee hours, like down from Oz or New Zealand. So we're coming to these meditation time with me. You're coming to it. And you had to live your life. You had to take care of responsibilities or deal with hassles or communications or what have you. You couldn't necessarily set aside a block of time to clear your mind. So let's check and make sure that for this short period of time, as much as possible, we're setting stress and worries and worldly cares aside and just focusing on our topic and growing something within ourselves that will make us more powerful in dealing with the world and events and things that try to bring us down. One of those ways is your shoulder check. If you're not feeling stressed, your shoulders are down. They're down. And I invite you, even if you feel like your shoulders are down, to take a minute to stretch them down even further. It should be a really beautiful feeling stretch to do that. It feels good to me. It does. And just bring those shoulders down. You may be surprised. Yesterday, I was dealing with a couple of things here at the house. My shoulders were way up here. And I realized it and brought them down. I was almost embarrassed at how far down they had to go to get down. So don't be surprised if you're if you're in a stressful, chapter of your life or something, and you had to bring them way down today to participate. That's fine. Hey, you know how to do it now. And just like when you smile, even if it's a fake smile, your body can misinterpret it and start giving you those happy hormones. So can your body when you deliberately put your shoulders down in a no stress situation. Your body can interpret that as, oh, the reason for the stress is gone. It's okay to relax. Blood pressure lower down. Fight or flight instincts can fade away. So it's good. You can do things, whether it's that smile or the shoulders down, that really make a physical difference, and that makes an energetic difference. So keep that in your toolbox. Remember that. Okay, so now we want to make sure our chakras are as straight as we can get them. So we're making ourselves open to have energy coming from a beautiful light-filled source into us, through us, and vice versa, in and out. Let's also take a few breaths and clean those pathways out even more. So to do that today, we do 3 breaths, and this will be some visualizing, which is really good practice for you. I want the first breath, you're going to view it coming in as beautiful. All the breaths coming in are clean and pristine and beautiful. And there's no dust or attachments or anything else to it. It's just the best, cleanest air that's ever entered your body. We're going to fill our lungs, hold it for a few seconds. And then when we exhale, any negativity that was still lingering with us, in us, on us, being sent to us, attached to us, we're going to just picture it getting drawn out. Okay, like a paper towel soaks up a spill. Okay, it's going to draw it out, and we're going to send it on to the same place we send any negativity, which is however you envision the ultimate source of light, creativity, your faith walk, whatever that might be. Remember, I run these as a non-denominational, so I'm not trying to offend anybody with my terminology. I'm just trying to make it all-encompassing and welcoming, because I respect any path of faith that is peaceful and helps you navigate through life. So that's why non-denominational. But if you came with a faith walk, feel free to quietly pursue it as we do this meditation, because I do. Okay, so let's get that first breath in, and when you visualize it coming out, it may be a little dingy because you're going to have some negativity that's leaving. Okay, so first breath in. By the way, that, if you see it, is a kitty hair. Now, I've been getting lots of little orb visitors, but let's not mistake kitty hairs for whiffs. I'm sorry, I vacuumed in here, and I've got 2 cats. It happens, but I don't want to ever attribute a visit to something that really has a a very commonplace explanation. But if you see something that looks like a little orb passing through, there's no windows that are open here, curtains that are open, doors that are open. So you may see things in the background. Okay, because I had a report that my last video had a lot of little visitors. And that was exciting. All right, those breaths. First one in, hold it. And picture it coming out a little dingy. But it feels so good to get it out. And we're sending it wherever we send our intentions and our thoughts that are loving and light-filled. Now let's get that second breath in. If you're really good at handling energy, it's going to already be as clear coming out as it was going in. But if it's not, don't be embarrassed. Just picture it dingy, because by the third one, we're all going to be there. Okay. Second breath in. Ready? Hold and picture it coming out. Even if it wasn't totally clear, it was clearer than the first one, and that got you all ready for the third one, which is just a complete exchange here of beautiful energy in, light out. We're ready to go. We're ready to be those conduits and those energy warriors. Ready? Third breath in, hold, and out. Shoulders down as you exhale. It should feel really, really good. Okay, so let's begin our meditation. We're ready to officially start here. We protected our energy. We welcomed positive energy. We welcomed observational neutrality energy. We have, with fair warning, we have sent negative energy to be purified and repurposed. We've prepared ourselves mentally and physically as much as we can to participate in this meditation. This meditation is focused energy. Okay, as I walk us through the how I envision fearlessness, if I ask you to visualize something that doesn't resonate with you as useful or light-filled, just set it out. Okay, we want to operate on a free will basis, both with what we accept, what we offer, and where we send it. So now here's what, as I was thinking about fearlessness today in my prayer and meditation time, I thought about really basically, once there's three kinds of fearlessness. There's the kind that comes from just innocence. A kitten walking into the street does not realize that, cars are dangerous and there's a danger there. I'm not going to address that kind of fearlessness, because I see us as having two other kinds of fearlessness that we operate with. Okay. The one is where you realize that there's a clear and present danger, and you proceed regardless. When your child's walking into the street, okay, or when someone tries to snatch a child, or someone tries to grab your purse and you hold on for dear life and start calling for the police or whatever it might be, you operate fearlessly, almost on instinct. Okay, so there's that kind of fearless that's instantaneous and happens in amazing ways. We've heard of parents that lift whole vehicles off a child and things like that. That's a fearlessness that we all have available to us. Now, I want to also now look at the third kind of fearlessness, the one that I mentioned when I was describing this meditation. I see the third kind of fearlessness is the ability to confront life in its full range of experiences, positive or negative, with unwavering resolve. And you draw strength from your inner wisdom and your inner self, because we had strength for our last meditation. So we're building on that strength, guys. Okay. And we're going to transform challenges into triumphs. We're going to decide when, where, and to what extent we feel fear. Okay. Fearless is just saying, oh, hell no, and proceeding anyway. I've heard some troubling current event rumors in the last couple of weeks. And that's kind of how I did about those. I said, well, first of all, I've got to wait for more information to find out if they're true or not, just like we all do when we hear these rumors, but I'm not going to let it do anything to my energy. It's just like, oh, heck no. I'll worry about it when it's time, or there's more information or there's confirmation. Right now, it's just a rumor that's trying to get us distracted and worried, and I'm not going there. That's the kind of fearlessness that we want to have. So that when there are attempts through, especially with the mainstream media and how they report things, because they're sensationalists and they're going for the headlines that grab our attention, but it's not just attention, they're also trying to make us feel fear. Okay, we want to decide when, where, and to what extent we feel fear. If you've got a clear and present danger to your life, for example, it's not just they're talking about there could be a flooding situation in your area, but you know there is, then maybe it's time to take some positive action. But again, instead, you set that fear aside and you go, okay, I got to do some steps here. I got to pack that go bag. I got to put the cats in the carrier, get the dogs on a leash, get them in the car, get to safety, make a few phone calls, tell people where I'm going, see if they're okay. You take action, and that's acting fearlessly. That's proceeding with resolve, and you're not just stopping in a puddle of fear and letting it freeze you, because there are three responses to fear. There's fight, there's flight, and there's freezing. And we want to be fighters. We want to wisely proceed and go, okay, it's time for, just like I had a plan B for this video, this meditation today. Okay, we want to have that fearlessness. We want to be able to tap into it and say, it's time to channel that inner warrior I've got, that spiritual warrior, that fighter. When I picture myself, guys, on the one hand, I see myself pretty accurately as this round little, rosy-cheeked grandma, but I am also very much a warrior. And I'm not just saying that because I am a veteran. I'm a warrior, and I'm a survivor because I choose to be. It didn't necessarily come natural to me, but it was that, or just give up and give in to circumstances that felt like they were beyond my control, situations in life that I felt powerless about. I just had to, at one point, say, I'm just going to proceed. I'm going to keep going. Here's who I want to be. Here's what I want to do. Here's what's right. Here's what's wrong. And I've shared with folks a lot of times in my videos, and I'll share it one more time today, that I'm proud of the things I survived. And I own the fact that sometimes I got myself in situations by my own poor choices or lack of choice, lack of choosing, just kind of letting things just kind of roll along. I've screwed up in so many ways in my life, and I have the failed relationships to prove it. I can't do much about those other than the amends and things I've already tried to do in my life. It is what it is, okay? But I want to face my loving creator, the one my faith walk believes in, and hear, well finished. And that means sometimes proceeding despite the fact that something is anxiety provoking or it's uncomfortable because it's new. That's that fearlessness that we just say, hey, time to use it. Open that toolbox, get it out. So I want to picture you guys to do a little visualizing. First for yourselves. If you're watching this, that means you've got a few years under your belt, even if it's just early 20s. You faced some challenges. Think of a time that you could have felt fear or did feel fear, and you went ahead anyway. It could be as simple as being worried about walking to your car because it's dark and the street light's out, okay? It could have been deciding to not let a failed relationship crush you, or to, despite the fact that somebody's words hurt, you're going to proceed and not let that turn you into a bitter person, whatever. Think of a time that you were fearless. There's lots of ways to be fearless. Okay, if you need to close your eyes to visualize that, take a second to do that. Okay. Yeah, I can think of the times when I just say, well, I can't help how I screwed up the past, but I can help what I do now and moving forward and who I am. Okay, so think of a time you were fearless. And give yourself a pat on the back, because that person that was fearless is part of you. I want you to take a minute and say, hey, fearless me, let's work together for the rest of our lives and all the ways in which we move forward from today. When something is trying to make us fearful, let's be wise about how we handle it and what we feel. Let's be very intentional about our response so that we don't react with fight or flight or freeze, but we choose how to proceed and we just do it. Now, I hope you found a spot and you're feeling good about yourself, because you should. You are a survivor. You have faced fear. There may have been times you gave into it. That's not what we're here about today. That's in the past. Okay. We're embracing the times and ways that we overcame fear, that we proceeded despite fear, that we survived or triumphed despite the challenges. And that's who we are and who we're going to even more be from this day forward, from this step forward, from this time forward. Now, let's give to others. Think of someone you love, or you could just have it be general. I have a heart since I was a single mom for a lot of years for single moms. Okay. I have a heart for children, obviously. So think of a time and way that a person or a group that you would like to imbue them with some of what you're feeling right now. That good feeling of going, hey, I have more reserves than I gave myself credit for. I've got more in my toolbox than I thought I did. I am more powerful than anybody wanted me to believe or know. Let's picture somebody or a group that we want to have that type of feeling too. Let's send it out to them in accordance with their free will. So you're sending it out. You may be viewing a specific person or a group of people, okay? And just as you do, just say, in accordance with their free will, I would like this group or this person to be able to have a less fear-filled life, to be more fearless in facing challenges and overcoming them, or dealing with situations that aren't positive in their life. So let's take a minute and do that. And this is the first energy now we're offering out for others in accordance with your free will, and for those we send it to in accordance with theirs. Okay? Okay. So little children that don't have protectors. Single moms with 5 cents in their wallet and worried about how to feed the kids tonight. Elderly people who haven't spoken to anybody in 3 days because they don't leave their house. People who tried to wait for some healing technologies and have had to pursue the medicine that's out there now and care that's out there now. And they're trying to do it wisely and as carefully as possible. People who don't know better and still listen to the mainstream news and think that's the news, that it's the truth, just because multiple voices say it. Let's picture them being more fearless, having those moments where they say, oh, hell no. I'm not buying it. Nice try. Not working for me. Let's picture them having that. Or that they think of a way to get out of a situation where they say, it may take a while, but it's worth it. I'm worth it. Let's picture that. And then for the third element, I'd like to get even a little broader than those we know about, okay, directly. Let's think about those we know, or to the best of our knowledge we know, are trying to bring this world, this plane of existence, into a better place, that are working to go from dark to light. Okay, it may be someone that's working within the structure of government. We hear about Drain the Swamp, and we know there's efforts to do that. We know that there's efforts to make people accountable for their actions and face some consequences for it. So let's picture them having some fearlessness to keep plugging away. If you are so inclined and your lens is wide enough and you believe that there is off-world and divine assistance to us, if they relate to our human experience enough, they probably also can feel some of the emotions we feel, whether it's joy or fear or love. So if you want to, let's not forget those that are beyond this plane of existence, that are whether they're in an energy sphere around this our realm or whatever, but if they are working in love and light and trying to help, let's let them have some fearlessness too, and maybe just a skosh more protection so that they can enjoy that fearlessness with some actual results that are surprisingly wonderful. So let's take a moment and think of those. It can be If you know you've got a mayor trying to get some things passed in your town, or there's a parent group trying to get things stopped, a program stopped at the school, or a politician you know is trying to drain a local, national, or world swamp, whatever it might be, let's just intend that if they would welcome this energy, we are sending them some fearlessness to proceed and succeed. Well, those were the elements I had for us to consider. Again, I'm not claiming to be the author of perfection here on theories and what have you. I saw fearlessness as having three components, and we addressed the two that have some intention to them. The fearlessness that just happens on instinct, mother love, you know, the warrior spirit that goes ahead despite fear and proceeds, what have you. And then the fearlessness that's very intentional, where you just say, I'm not feeling that, and I'm not going there, and they're not going to make me stop, and they're not going to, and you just set that fearlessness aside and proceed and deal with a challenge or a situation or a dynamic, whether everything from a health thing to a family thing to a whatever it might be. There's fearlessness that we have to call into play, but especially the fearlessness that we embrace when we know someone's trying to make us fearful. I'm not playing that game and you're not yanking that string. Boom. We considered fearlessness for ourselves and pictured times that we were fearless and invited that part of ourselves to be more actively part of our present self and moving forward. We pictured fearlessness for groups that we imagine could use some more, an infusion of fearlessness and losing that paralyzing fear that they might have in situations so that they could survive and even triumph. And then we extended our energy offering out to those that we know are working for the race of humanity, for the world, or assisting us in some way. And we've intentioned some for them too. If their free will would accept it, we're offering it that way. So that was the extent of fearlessness for this meditation. Now I'm going to continue here for a minute, because while I conduct the meditation, I don't look at the chat. We will have live chat replay available, but it doesn't happen right away. This session is being recorded. If you want to participate a second or third time, listen to it again, or recommend it to someone, it can be found under the Lives tab on the Laura's View and Tarot 2 YouTube channel. So they're available there, and I've tried to make the titles for our meditations very clear, so just like a 1 or 2 word, boom, so you can find it that way very easily. So while I've been talking, that's given you folks, if you wanted something to share in the comments or celebrate, or just ask for a little intentional help with, you're welcome to do that. If you don't get those thoughts down here during the meditation, and you'd like to have, again, those thoughts shared with others, or a need shared with others, feel free to do it as a comment in the under the Lives tab where the meditation will be, because we do review those and offer energy later on for that. Again, this was a non-denominational meditation. You can come at it with absolutely no faith walk at all, just a kind heart that wanted to participate and offer, or a belief in the power of energy and intention. And everything from that to a very strict, maybe a very traditional type of faith walk you might have, whatever, you're all welcome. And I thank you so much for participating. So at this point, I'm going to do a countdown from 10 to give people that are trying to get that one last comment in a chance to put it in the live chat replay. And then I'm going to stop the live stream, but I do so again, offering to you again, I've learned to be a conduit. If you're willing to accept it, I would like to give you love, light, and wish for you everything bright, including the ability to cast aside fear and proceed wisely, despite any qualms you may have, or that someone may have been wanting you to have, in fearlessly proceeding with situations or your life, or how you manage your time and day. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, folks. Bye.